Your GitHub can't land you a job, can it?
Well, you're probably using GitHub wrong. I'm not talking about your branching or your pull request strategy. I'm talking about in terms of a job search. Before I begin, this philosophy is built on top of a strategy I detailed in a previous video. So if you haven't watched that yet, watch that first. So as developers, we're using GitHub as a tool to store our code, but also as a potential place to showcase our worth. The problem is we misunderstand how our customers use it. We have certain expectations about what they will do and what they will click on, what they will read. What's the most important thing on GitHub? Code, right? Wrong. That's what we as developers care about. Recruiters, for example, they want evidence. What I mean by that is they want ammunition to sell you on to either their boss or to their client. It's kind of like social media. Few people are watching these videos to get a fuller picture and to truly understand. They're watching so they can collect sound bites and then they can regurgitate them in the pub so they can sound clever. We need to focus on what our customer wants if we want them to put us forward. That's the sale or the transaction. We want that recommendation or referral. Okay, let's get into the philosophy. Now, as a recruiter, I realized you have limited time when somebody is reading your profile to grab their attention. I say you have 10 seconds or less. Now, if you look at a GitHub profile for 10 seconds, what do you see? What are you drawn to? Well, there's no time to read the code, that's for sure. Do people ever read your code? No. And so that then begs the question, on what basis are they inviting developers to interviews? In my experience, they're inviting people who are showcasing that they are worthy of more of your time, i.e. in an interview. And so they look at people who demonstrate their value or their proactivity. But how do you showcase that? Okay, we'll get into that. But let's start with the basics. A profile picture. You probably don't feel the need to have one, but this is about branding. So I want to encourage you to have the same profile picture as you have on LinkedIn. It's like a welcome mat. So when they click through and they arrive on your profile, they know they're in the right place. It also helps them to find your profile when you submit a broken link, which, trust me, happens way more often than it should. You're a developer, for crying out loud. So make it a close-up of your face and smile. Under the profile picture is your bio, and thankfully we've already covered this on LinkedIn, so you can go back to LinkedIn, cut and paste from your LinkedIn headline. If you remember, this detailed the kind of developer you are, so front end, full stack, back end, and then the main 3 to 4 technologies that you want to be known for. These are your claims. Now remember that, because it's going to come up again later. So underneath your profile picture, you have links. Now, if, and it's a big if, the reader likes what they see, they're going to need to have somewhere to go. So I want you to link them back to LinkedIn. People should be able to flow between your profiles with ease. Okay, now we have the basics in place, let's add some meat. So a lot of people will tell you a good ReadMe is required on your GitHub profile. It's not, but if you choose to have one, what should be on it? So firstly, people aren't here to read. They can do that elsewhere. So what I would encourage you to do is go back to LinkedIn and cut and paste the first 3 to 4 lines from your About section, which should contain not just the main skills, but a lot of the complementary skills. So you want to tell them you're a great fit for the role that they're looking for. So you've got the required skills and some of the nice to have skills. So underneath that, lots of people add logos. Don't add 35 logos. This just muddies the water and dilutes the story. Do you really think that Postman or CSS are going to get you a job? Think about the top 5 to 10 skills that will support your goal of landing the role you claim to want in your bio. I told you to remember your claims, didn't I? Commit graph. This is where obsession kicks in. No, you don't need to have a wall of green. It would be nice if there wasn't a vast expanse of emptiness either. It would be nice to see some commitment, pun intended. We want to see you actually do the things you claim to do, but you don't have to be coding for 365 days straight. Got it? Next up, pinned repos. If you don't pin them, it will say popular repos. Do me a favor, pin them. Pin the best examples of you using the tech you claim to use in the bio and possibly now the README. It's funny how I said to remember that part about claims. It's almost like a planned list. So if you're a Python and React developer, we might need to see evidence of you using Python and React. Now start to think we might need to see evidence of you using Fast API or Django or Next.js perhaps. So you'll notice that the language part of the repository snippet might tell the reader which language you used, like Python or JavaScript, but the detail is lost. How will a recruiter know that this is a React repo, for example? This is where we need to work that snippet that appears under the repository name. This is the About section of the repository. You can add 3 to 4 lines of description here, and I hope this sounds familiar, but nobody cares what the project does. They care what the project demonstrates in terms of your ability to use the tech. So use these lines to detail the tech used within the project. And don't expect anyone to inspect a package JSON file or something like that, because nobody will. Now be careful about the repository names. If you're a junior, names like assignment 1, 2, and 3 are not going to help your case for presenting a developer who can build real-world projects. Think about how it looks to the reader. Now, the furthest someone will delve into your GitHub profile is to click on the repositories tab. And this is a list in chronological order of all the work you've been doing. And now the reader is, again, just like they did on LinkedIn, asking themselves 3 questions. When did you start using the tech? Are you currently using the tech? And how frequently can we see you using it? So make sure every repository, or at least the ones above the fold, are appropriately named and detail the text used within the project in the About section for that repository. The more they see matches in that list between the required skills and the nice to have skills, the more confident they feel about putting you forward for interview. So if we put all this together, this is usually enough to convince someone that you are worthy of more of their time. This is where you get an invite to an interview, and what they're going to do is scroll back up and look in that contact information. Now we've got a chance that somebody might click it. That's another profile done. If you've got questions, I'd love to answer them, so throw them in the comments. Subscribe, and I'll teach you how to land a job in tech for free.